Today on Game Talk Live, we break down all of this weekend's E3 announcements. Microsoft and Bethesda have both brought their A game for this year's reveals, but we've still got a lot to unpack. Happy E3 week, everybody. I'm Andy Roman, and welcome to Game Talk Live, where we discuss the biggest video game news of the day, live with help from our chat audience. Joining me now are three expert guests to discuss these gaming topics and more. First up is Havana, known as simply Vanna on Twitch, where she broadcasts full-time as a partnered streamer. Havana strives to create content that is focused on humor, positive community building, and inclusion. She also hosts at Geek and Sundry and plays tabletop RPGs over at Saving Throw Show. Additionally, she is the American average height for a woman and leaves the crust on her sandwiches. Hi, Vanna.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Also joining us today is a familiar face. It's Dave Klein of the YouTube channel DaveControl. He's also a host for NerdWire and a producer for companies like GameSpot Universe. Hi, Dave.
Hey, what's up? Wait, so does Havana not eat the crust? Is that what that means? She doesn't eat that part of it on her sandwiches?
Oh, Havana,
that's
please
the best
clarify.
Part.
I believe I wrote I leave it on. So
So do you eat the crust?
Yes, I eat it.
Okay.
I eat the crust.
Answering
you
important
eat the crust.
questions.
Okay, you eat the crust. Yeah, because that's
I
the
leave
best
it
part.
on the
Eat
sandwich.
crust.
Oh my God, you guys. Okay, also joining us is another familiar face. It's Alex, better known as Octopimp. He's a voice actor and gamer, best known for his YouTube channel. Hi, Octo.
Sorry. Hi, very sorry for the unprofessional green screen that's sort of covering behind me. I should just like commit or not, you know. I can't just have half of it. I'm very unprofessional.
Guys, it's all
I think
good.
it's my expert status is revoked at this point. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Let's hop into our first topic today. We got a slew of information over the weekend, guys. Anthem, Halo Infinite, and Fallout 76 all saw the spotlight this past weekend, and every title seems to put a heavy emphasis on online play and multiplayer components. With the success of the Destiny franchise, it seems like every publisher is latching onto the same formula and taking it in strides. Are these open-world, MMO-esque shooters the way of the FPS? Dave, start us off.
I don't know. It's not what excites me about these games. Personally, I think it's definitely the new trend. I think it's what a lot of companies are trying to shoot for because, you know, that's what's going to make a lot of money. Because if you have something continuous like Destiny where you have a community who's going to buy more DLC, who's going to buy more content, who's going to buy more cosmetics and things like that, that's definitely what a company wants. I'll say for my personal taste as a consumer, I don't buy into it as something that excites me. But I can see why they're all doing it. So I just think Fallout 76 will definitely do well. I think there's a built-in audience there. I'm personally more interested in Anthem just because it looks a little more different. But, you know, each company's got their own thing that they're going to try. And it'll be interesting to see how it does and how well it does for different companies at this point. Because this is the new wave.
Sure. Vanna, what are your thoughts? Are most first-person shooters, you think, moving toward kind of the Destiny model, if you will?
Well, I've actually got to go with Dave here too, is because what I'm most excited about it is maybe not the actual like PvP FPS aspect of it, but a lot of what I do on my channel is role playing, which right now I'm using GTA for the most part, GTA Online. But being able to like create characters and do role playing between other people that are in the Fallout universe. And role play together in the apocalypse is just sounds amazing to me. So that's what I'm most excited about. The shooting aspect is cool, and I always enjoy exploding things and stuff like that. But I think playing a character and getting to interact with other people inside the universe that are building characters themselves, and maybe not everybody's a role player, but I'm looking forward to finding the people that are and building stories with them that way.
Well, there's already a comment in chat about this very thing, and it's Estelle Castillo 1 says, I'm looking forward to a future that includes Fallout 76 RP servers. So you will not be alone, Vanna.
Yay!
Yay! So Octo, speaking to these kind of Destiny-style multiplayer games, is this a strategy, would you say, of bringing in new players that maybe wouldn't pick a first-person shooter?
I guess, but God, I'm so sick of this format. I'm so sick of oh my God, we're going to take a shooter, throw it online. Like, come on. How many of these are there now? It feels just like everybody takes this format and they're just like, let's take this format, throw it online. It's like, cool, awesome, that's neat, but like, I guess I understand why. I'm speaking too personally now, but it's just sort of like, yeah, sure, that's the trend, is like taking stuff and then adding the online play and making that the focus instead of like making a good single player experience. I don't know.
That's I mean, yeah, go ahead, Dave.
I was gonna say, I feel like, yeah, I don't personally think, for me, the trend I don't care that much for either, but I don't think it's that widespread yet to the point that I'm annoyed. You know, there's obviously Destiny, but I can't think of too many other examples. I don't think Titanfall 2 did that. I don't think Doom didn't do that. Wolfenstein 2 didn't do that.
That's true, but I feel like everybody is focusing too much on the multiplayer. Like, everything is about multiplayer now. I mean, Fallout 76, multiplayer. This, multiplayer. Like, there's
you have
so
Black
much.
Ops, you know, the most recent Black Ops announcement, they're removing their single-player campaign entirely.
Exactly. There's so much focus on multiplayer. That's cool. That's fine. But I just feel like it's neglecting the single-player experience. Which, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm too old.
Or yesterday, Battlefield 5 was like, hey, guess what? We still have a single player. We got you covered.
Yeah, exactly. When you have companies that are saying that kind of thing, and they're like, hey, guess what? We still have a single player. Like, excuse me? Like, what? You're kind of ruining your... I don't know. I feel like when I play with people, it ruins the narrative. Well, maybe not it ruins the narrative, but, like, it takes me out of the fact that I'm playing a narrative experience. Like... If you, like, for instance, this is kind of a bad example, but I know this game is meant to be played with multiple people, but, like, when I played Borderlands 2 with friends, I was talking to them more than I was listening to the story. But when I play a game like that alone and listen to the story, I'm like, okay, well, now I'm in it. That's a bad example because that game is supposed to be played cooperatively, but there are games that I'm taken out of it when I play it multiplayer. I don't know. Maybe I'm harping too much on this.
No,
Forget
that's
it.
fine.
Ignore it. Forget everything I said.
Vanna, why don't you throw in your 2 cents?
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that during the Fallout announcements, they said that you would be able to play it single player. If
that
you
is correct. Okay. That is correct.
So I think that's what's important is that these companies that are throwing their hat in the multiplayer ring are also still allowing you to play a single player story campaign if you want to. And I think that's the big difference is it's like we're giving you options. We're not forcing you into something. So if you want to play online with friends, which there's a lot of games I like playing online with friends half the time, and other times I want to do the story. Like with the most recent Far Cry 5, I pushed off the multiplayer for a long time just because I really did want to get into the story. But once I got through most of the story, especially after beating like the final boss, it's like it's really fun to go back and explore that world with a friend and go fishing and, you know, like blow heads up and talk. So I think having that option is great. And I think the great thing that Fallout's going to bring that Far Cry didn't is that when you leave the campaign with your friend is all that information and data is going with you. Whereas Far Cry, if you're the one coming to your friend's server or whatever, you lose all that when you go back to your own game. So I think they're giving you options and they're letting you take what you earn with you, which I think is what's important.
But hopefully both ways of experience the title are still compelling and you're not missing out on certain features or aspects. I mean, I looked at the Fallout 76 trailer and it's, showing a lot of making kind of settlements with other people. So I'm just wondering if that, integration is not going to be great for people alone. So anyway, speaking to that, for a title that's only been single player since its first release, I mean, I'm wondering if this is going to be a huge shift for the Fallout fans. And should publishers, do you think, be pushing their established franchises into the genre, or should they start fresh with a new IP? Dave, I think this might be kind of alienating for the existing Fallout audience.
Sure. I mean, I think as long as there's multiple games or they still have a focus on single player, that's cool. Because I do think even if, like, say, Octopimp, for example, isn't the audience for Fallout 76's multiplayer, or maybe I'm not, there's going to be an audience who is. And to me, I look at that and I'm like, wow, that could be a really cool feature. That could be a lot of fun. I mean, lately I don't have time to do that, but when I do, I look at that and I think, wow, playing a game like that with people actually could be a really fun idea if they do it right, as long as they still have another game in the works for someone who wants single player. So, like, they announced Elder Scrolls 6, for example. And if Elder Scrolls 6 were to be this big thing where all they're pushing is multiplayer, then I would be annoyed. But to me, it's like, all right, they just came out with Fallout 4 last year, and that was single player, and you had your experience, and sure, whatever. They got another one coming out that'll be the multiplayer experience. That's not a big deal to me. It's just if they start if they don't have another thing on the horizon that looks like, oh, this will be the next single-player experience for me, that's when I'd be upset.
Mm-hmm. So speaking to the Elder Scrolls, Skyrim is now available for every console under the sun, including the reveal of Alexa compatibility, a reboot. Wait, go ahead, Octo. What?
Wait, I want to talk about Fallout 76 for a minute.
Okay,
I have a really
personal.
really personal gripe with this, and it's because it's set. And sorry, this is like a personal gripe that I haven't gotten a platform to talk about for just 1 minute. Okay, so my big issue is, so they say that Fallout 76 is going to be about rebuilding the wasteland, right? That's the focus of it. It's probably going to focus on a lot of the town building system that they had
rebuilding
in 4.
and then throwing a nuke on the towns that are built.
Okay, so my issue is that the time frame this game takes place is the worst possible one they could have picked, because it's before all the other games. And here's why. Because we already know that everything is still messed up, like 50 years after this game takes place or whatever, 100 years after this game takes place or whatever, which means I feel like I'm going to have no impact on this game world whatsoever going into the game. If they set this after everything and said, okay, well, you got to rebuild, and then after that, the next sequel to it was like, oh, well, everything's still messed up, I would have been like, well, at least for the duration of the game, I felt like I was, accomplishing something. But we already know that everything is still messed up after we've played this game. It feels like building these settlements and establishing these colonies are going to accomplish nothing in the greater Fallout world. It's like, oh, well, all this week you're going to put in is pointless because everything is still messed up. Okay, sorry, that's it.
So what I see for you is you're going to become one of the marauders who then nukes everything.
Oh, absolutely.
That's your.
If I'm in
so you make
server,
sure
you
that
dead. You are dead.
You got to make sure that canonically it makes sense. You're that person. Canonically, it's going to make sense thanks to Octopimp.
But I have to think, where did Fallout 4 occur? Because this one's in West Virginia. Fallout 76 is it the same location?
Is in Boston. And Fallout 3 is in Washington, D.C.
So it's close.
So it's like right next door. But Capital Wasteland is like right next door.
Okay.
And it's still messed up. So
all right, we gotta move away from Fallout for just a moment.
It's pointless. Nothing matters.
Press the mute button. Mute on Octopimp.
Okay, Skyrim, speaking of another Bethesda title, is now available for every console under the sun, including the reveal of Alexa compatibility, a reboot of a collectible card game, Legacy, Elder Scrolls Online DLC, the newly announced mobile game Blades. Are we on the edge of Elder Scrolls burnout? Is it too much? Havana?
I mean, I think it's one of those things where I'm seeing a lot of patterns like we did when Final Fantasy 15 was released 2 years ago, was they were releasing a lot of this content just to get the hype going, which I can totally understand. It's like, okay, we've spent a lot of time on this game because we really want to make it good for our fans who have been really like hungering for it for so long, but we don't have it quite yet. So what can we give them in the interim to keep them excited and keep them engaged? And I think that's what Final Fantasy 15 did 2 years ago, and I think that's what they're doing now. They're releasing, mobile games, they're releasing extra content, they're releasing, remastering things for other consoles and things like that. And the Alexa thing is very silly, but I do want to try it.
Absolutely.
So yeah. I think it's just a way to just keep people engaged, and it's like I think it's not an overload as much as it is like these little tastes that we're like on the way to the candy house, and these are the little gumdrops, and then eventually we'll be eaten by a witch. That wasn't a great metaphor, but you know what I mean.
I understood what you meant.
That was great.
No, I think that's an even better metaphor. Now that makes it even better, because then they're going to release 50 versions of it anyways. So then you get trapped there.
Yeah. So
you get way too fat.
Other Bethesda announcements included Rage 2, Quake Champions, a Prey DLC, Doom, and Wolfenstein Youngblood, save for Starfield, which all we got was literally a title and a very teaser, something in space. All announcements from Bethesda were based off existing IP. Is the gaming climate too risky for new IP? Dave?
No.
Oh, Octos is already shaking his head no.
Yeah, I mean, I think established companies think it is, especially with how much money games cost to make. I mean, that's kind of been a problem a continuing problem for the past 10 years. And I think since like PlayStation 2, PlayStation 2 is still more experimental. But after PlayStation 2 in that era, I feel like it's been becoming more and more IP driven with established IPs, because they know it'll sell. But I'm glad they're doing Starfield. Thank goodness. I mean, Bethesda hasn't had an original IP in what? They said 20 years?
25 years.
25 years? So I'm glad. I'll say on my part, I'm more Skyrim burnt out. I'm not burnt out of Elder Scrolls, but I'm Skyrim burnt out. Honestly, I'm Fallout burnt out too at this point. I love Fallout 3. Fallout 4 was fine. New Vegas was fun. But at this point, I'm like, I like Fallout, but I just want something different. And I'm glad they're doing Starfield. And I hope more companies continue to do new IPs. That's really what excites me at this point, and should excite other people. Get excited for new IPs and buy them, please.
So, speaking to Vanna's candy trail, the biggest candy trail of them all, Kingdom Hearts 3, we have to talk about this for a real quick second. Release date finally confirmed for January of next year. I mean, will this title live up to expectations? 12 years in the making. We've got Big Hero 6, Frozen, and Tangled Worlds are all included, which feels a little outdated, if you ask me. Is this an issue of demographics in terms of what appeals to the Japanese fans, or is the title a victim of its extended development time? Octo?
Okay. So I feel like if you've missed a single Kingdom Hearts game, you're just going to be like, what is going on? Like me, who's missed every Kingdom Hearts game that isn't Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2. And I'm just like,
yeah.
I know that there are people who love this series, but I do not know what the hell is going on. And I'm one of those people that's like, I mean, at the start of Kingdom Hearts 2, I was like, what is this? You know, and even then, there's only one game between those, which is Chain of Memories. And I'm just like, I feel like at this point, I just am too far gone to understand what is happening. I mean, I know that there's like summary videos out there, but I don't want to have to watch like a 60 to 90 minute video that summarizes all these games. By the way, the cell phone mobile games for Kingdom Hearts are canon. There are canon things that happen in those games. So if you do not know what happens in those, you might be missing story and plot points.
Or a Game Boy Advance game.
That was Chain of Memories.
Yeah, we've been playing Kingdom Hearts.
Is still in my heart, though. Roxas is still in my heart.
I'm gonna
Everyone's
throw
in our
up.
hearts.
I don't know. Kingdom Hearts, great, cool. I get to hang out with Mike Wazowski, great. But like at the same time, I need context for why anything is occurring in these games, and I don't have it. So it's tough for me to really get excited about Kingdom Hearts 3. I mean, I got to play it a little bit, and the gameplay was cool, but since it's so plot driven, and I know there's going to be like 15-minute cutscenes where they're talking about what Kingdom Hearts really means to them, and I'm like, God, I don't care.
So we just need a Kingdom Hearts Cliff Notes before we jump into Kingdom Hearts 3. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned. After the break, we'll be talking all things Microsoft. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name's Todd. We're going to be playing some H1Z1, and a lot of you out there are going to be able to win some prizes by guessing when our guests die. Sasha, are you ready to go play some H1Z1?
Let's do this.
I think we've seen this story before.
We got a lot of guests tonight from all over the world. They're competing for a trophy, our Champion of the Night prize. Which one of you is going to be the best player tonight?
Anybody that comes in my way is done.
Get a helmet, get a backpack, get a rifle.
Kill everyone.
Kill that person.
Engage.
Kill. Oh my God!
I give the people what they want to see.
Oh my God!
Oh wow, he took a big hit. He got it!
Can you throw me in like the Norwegian server or like someplace where they're just not gonna find me? No. Did I die first?
No one's died that early in the game ever.
We have 75 players in tier 3. Let me hear you make some noise.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Microsoft charged headfirst into E3 week with numerous announcements, trailers, reveals, and acquisition news at their press conference. We got 3 Gears of War announcements, including Gears of War 5, a tactics-style game, and a mobile title using the Funko Pop figure likenesses of the characters. Thinking about the thousands of Pop figures in the market, Gears of War being the first seems surprising. Do you think more Pop games are in our future? Vanna, start us off.
I hope not. They creep me out.
Yay! I'm not the only one who doesn't like them.
Their eyes are dead. They have no souls.
I don't understand why they're so popular. I don't get it.
It's the dead, soulless eyes, really.
There's so many better vinyl figures out there. Why did they become the popular ones?
And why
I think they're
Gears
pretty
of
affordable,
War?
right?
They are. So they're $10 a piece typically is like the regular. But it's just surprising.
Yeah,
this is the first
they
video.
suck.
Tell us how you really feel, Octo.
Sorry, Funko Pop is never going to sponsor me. Whatever. I don't care. They're awful. They're garbage, soulless pieces of trash.
Remember Dunnies? Those were pretty cool. That company made good stuff. Why didn't they make these things? They made like Simpsons ones. They make good vinyl figures. I don't get it.
What is it? Wait, why are you saying vinyl weird?
Is it?
Why are you saying
How do you pronounce it? I thought it was vinyl.
It's vinyl. It's vinyl. It is vinyl.
All right, there's no vinyl shaming on this show. All right. All right, so another, so we got 3 Gears titles from Microsoft. We got another title you may have heard of, Halo. Another, what appears to be a Destiny-inspired title, which is surprising no one, is Halo Infinite. Is this in replacement of Halo 6, or do you think we're going to get a Halo 6 down the road? Vanna?
I've got to pass this to the boys. I have not played a Halo title
Dave.
Since the first one.
So I was saying some people speculating that it might be actually more similar to Fortnite as opposed to Destiny, because at this point we don't know anything really from that trailer. I mean, except for Master Chief was shown briefly with his helmet.
And see, I think this is a girl on screen right now. Like,
okay,
yeah, right? Like,
you're like, those are some girl thighs right there.
Yeah,
some girly thighs.
It doesn't look like Master.
I mean, the armor adds a little extra to the hip area.
It does, but all right.
Yeah, so it's really hard to tell because there's no gameplay. You know, it's kind of just up in the air. I mean, the fact they called it Halo Infinite makes me think that it's not Halo 6.
Right.
That's all I'll go with.
I never make any assumptions if they don't show any gameplay. Mm-hmm. I'm always just like, if they just like talk about it and they're like, a thing is happening. I'm like, well, okay, great. A thing is happening, but I know nothing about it yet, other than that it is happening.
Sure. All right, so Microsoft announced that they acquired 5 new studios, including Playground Games and Ninja Theory. With these new studios under their umbrella, is Microsoft on its way to being a strong competitor to the reigning champs of PlayStation and Nintendo? Dave?
You know, it's funny, when people announced it, or when they announced it and everyone was cheering the audience, I'm like, why are you cheering? I mean, you're just cheering that Microsoft's like, hey, we bought a bunch of people. We bought them out. It's not like they weren't making games before. But as far as your actual question goes, I'd say that, yes, it was smart on their end to do it. And hopefully it means that more money will be going to these developers. They can make some really cool stuff going forward. But it does, for them, it's smart because it gives them essentially a first-party lineup. Not first-party, second-party, whatever. Third-party line. I don't know the correct
We had the same debate in the office before this episode today on like defining first and second-party titles. To me, it's first-party. If Microsoft owns you and you're creating content for Xbox and PC, then
it's like, I don't know the technical term, but I think on their end, it's smart. It does give them a reason, because at this point, like, what they have Halo and Gears of War basically, and that's it. Why else do you buy an Xbox?
Yes, I couldn't.
Yeah, so I think for them it's smart. I'm not going to say I'm glad they did it, because I don't necessarily think these publishers need to not be third party. But for them it's smart, definitely.
Yeah. All right, so we touched upon this a little bit earlier in the show. Anthem. So I was personally super impressed by the Anthem trailer. So far, it might be one of my favorites that I've seen come out of the show so far. And after Mass Effect Andromeda's flop, is it smart for BioWare to kind of start fresh and give their fans kind of new lore and characters to attach onto? Vanna?
Well, I'm definitely excited to see what stories they have left to tell. And it's obviously an incredibly gorgeous game. But I have to go with Twitter on this, that the lack of romance involved in the new storyline is very disheartening, because that's like one of the great things about their games, right? Is that you have these options and these tendrils of, you know, something more emotionally heightened than maybe other, you know, shooter games that we have, or exploration games or things like that. So I'm a little disappointed in that, and I guess there's definitely still time where that could change or something else could be revealed where that's not the case. But you know, is a mech game really a mech game without some hugging and kissing? You know what I mean?
With robots?
Can I kiss the mech? That's what I want to know.
You know, some cores will come out. Lando's going to get involved.
Kiss another mech.
Lando's gonna get involved somehow in this, you know.
Well, there's also mechs in the upcoming title from CG Project Red, Cyberpunk 2077, and
I'm definitely gonna kiss a mech in that one.
So tell me, Octo, you know, do you think the Witcher kind of style of gameplay is going to transition smoothly into this futuristic setting?
Oh, crabsolutely. There's no question about it. Like, why would they ever, like, did we ever doubt CD Projekt Red? Like, I mean, to be fair, I have not messed much with the Witcher games, but from what I have seen, they really care about the games that they make, and they just want to make a quality experience all around. And no DLC. They said that everything's going to be in the game, which is pretty great.
One of those trailers where, like, it's hard for me to gauge what the game is because they didn't show anything. It's just, you know, it's the type of trailer where I'd be like, I don't care when I watch it normally, but I like the setting and the fact that it's CG Projekt Red. I'm like, well, it's CD Projekt Red, and they're really good. That's
very.
I had said that, you know, if I don't see gameplay, I'm kind of like, oh, whatever, it's happening, you know. But you have to judge based on what that studio has made before, and in this case, I am cautiously optimistic for this game. I think it's going to be really, really good. Yeah. Hopefully. So.
Well, Vanna, we can live out our robot dreams in Cyberpunk 2077, possibly.
Did you just promise?
No.
Wow. Do it in person.
Yeesh.
All right, so we did hear one big Battle Royale announcement. It was for Battlefield 5. Will it work, and do we need it? Dave?
You know what? I'm not a Battle Royale player at all. I mean, I play H1Z1 with Tauntfest because it's awesome. Go watch Tauntfest.
Nice.
Nice. Anyways, I think
the worst wink I've ever seen.
Whatever. So Battlefield 5, I'll say, like, I like that style of shooting game. I think it's fun. I'm more of a COD player than Battlefield, but you know what? Whatever. It's just another game mode. It could be fun. A lot of people are hating on it. To me, it's like, you know what? Whatever. It can be fun. Give it a chance. If you like playing Battlefield 5 and you like that style of shooting and the way it feels mechanically, it's just another game mode. So why not?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. We'll see how it does.
Yeah. So EA announced and released Unravel 2 simultaneously. Do you think this game will benefit from the surprise release? And should more publishers be doing this, or is it too risky of a move to rely on? We also saw Bethesda do this with Elder Scrolls Blades last night. Vanna, what do you think?
I mean, like I said before, I think it worked out really well when Final Fantasy 15 was doing it, and it's you know, just providing something in the moment. And especially with these conferences, it's like people want a date. They want a title. They want, you know, a new IP right now, right then. So to give them something in that moment that they can, you know, right there at their phone or on their computer, download it, start playing, get excited about that. Not only that game, but what these studios are working on next. I don't know. I think how could that be bad?
Octa, what do you think? How do you feel about when they announce a title and it's literally playable that day?
That's pretty crazy. I mean, that's very unusual, but I think that's the way to do it. Like, that was when they did it for Fallout Shelter or whatever. Mm-hmm. They were like, hey, here's this new mobile game we're making. I mean, even if it was just a mobile game, they were like, hey, here's like a management mobile mini game, and it's available now. And wasn't it free to play when it came out too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I remember because we were both at Polaris at the time, and all of us were downloading it the moment we were like, oh, let's download and play it.
Yeah, because that's like the ultimate power move for publicity. If you're just like, hey, we're making this game. It's out now.
Yeah.
I mean,
it worked really well for Beyonce, so I don't know why, you know.
Yeah, everyone's not doing it. Well, speaking of Fallout Shelter, it's available now for PS4 and Switch. So if you guys want to. Yeah, there you go.
You're into it.
All right, guys, it's been a great discussion. I want to thank all of our viewers and our guests for being here. Tell us what game you are most hyped about at E3 and where people can find you online, starting with Vanna.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm actually really excited about the new Tomb Raider game, Shadows of the Tomb Raider. I just think it continues the trend of being absolutely gorgeous, using you know, a lore that's heavily built in reality, but then extrapolating from there to create kind of new puzzles and new worlds and new tombs and stuff like that. And Lara Croft is totally bad butt. I don't know if we can cuss.
You can say badass.
Okay, yay! She's totally badass, and I just think having such an incredibly strong female lead in a video game who is flawed, but also, you know, very powerful in not only physically, but in her mind and things like that is awesome. And I'm super excited. That game looks very cool. And you can find me on Twitch. I stream 6 days a week full time, and that's going to be twitch.tv/Vana, V-A-N-A. And you can follow me on Twitter to see when I go live and all the other projects I'm working on over at Geek and Sundry, Alpha, Saving Throw Show, and some of my personal stuff over on Twitter, which is Havanarama, Havanarama. I think it's down there. So thanks for having me.
Much. Thanks, Vanna. All right, Dave, what game are you most hyped about, and where can people find you online?
Before I sound like a broken record, I also think Tomb Raider looks really bad booty. I'm going to go with that as my badass term. Because you said bad butt. I'm trying to find other bad tushy. It's very bad tushy looking. I think, well, Cyberpunk is the one I'm most excited about that I didn't know about. Just because I had no idea what it was before. So that's exciting to me. And to be the broken record that I am, Sekiro, the new From Software title, even though it looks similar-ish to Neo, it looks different enough to me that I like the aesthetic of it. From Software's a great company in general, and the fact that they always do new IPs is one thing. Or, well, generally. They have a lot of new IPs in general. Even though they're all similar, at least it's a new story. It's a new setting. I like that about it. So, totally new setting. Gameplay mechanically, it looks different enough with a grapple hook than Dark Souls. So, I think it looks great. I'm looking forward to it. And you can find me on YouTube at DaveControl. I also host and produce for GameSpot Universe, so go check me out there. About to do a new anime show for them, which I'm looking forward to. And I host for NerdWire, so any of those places.
Great. Thanks, Dave. All right, Octo, your turn. What you got?
Hey, I'm really excited for Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise because it's made by the Yakuza devs, and I love them. So, yeah, that's going to be really cool, and I'm going to play the heck out of that. You could see me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Octopimp, but don't. I'm not very good at it. Anyway, thanks for having me.
Go follow Octo, everyone. Thank you.
Don't. Please
All
don't.
right.
Do yourself a favor.
Thanks to everyone who watched, commented, and shared the show. I'm Andy Roman. Don't forget to like our Facebook page and watch Game Talk live every Monday, Wednesday, but not this Wednesday, and Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific. But make sure to follow us on Instagram for all the behind the scenes from E3. We'll see you there. Bye-bye.